Happy 115 Day, everyone, and it's a beautiful day for Call of Duty Zombies fans, and it's a great day to have another episode of the Wunder Bar Podcast. So today we're going to be discussing all the new DLC 2 news that Treyarch has in store for us, and we're also going to be talking about all the future stuff that Treyarch has planned for Black Ops 6 Zombies. So I'm very excited about all of this. Me and Revived are going to deep dive into all of it. So get ready, get some snacks and such. Let's begin this podcast. Alrighty, everyone, welcome to episode 2 of the Wunder Bar Podcast. And I didn't expect to record this episode so soon, but I forgot 115 Day, was coming up soon. And yeah, there's a lot of news to discuss today and such. So it's a crazy day today. We have a lot to discuss. All the news just dropped from Treyarch and such. So I'm joined here with Revived once again, my co-host. How you doing today on 115 Day?
I'm doing great, dude. It's a really, really big day.
Yep. So we got a lot of news to cover about 115 Day. They showcased the whole new map and such. But I wanted to start off the podcast on a bit of a serious note because I feel like this is important to bring up because while Call of Duty is, in a rough spot these times and such, and I know a lot of people give criticism and such to the developers. I also think it's important to understand that, developers are human and, they deal with problems like us. We may not like some of the choices they make. We may not like, a lot of the bugs and issues that are happening and such, but understand that, they're humans and they're dealing with problems as well. So I think it's important to bring up the current situation that's going on in LA, which is the fires and such. So yeah, a lot of the fires have been going on in LA for the past few weeks, and yeah, a lot of the developers' homes and such have been hit, and it's pretty sad to see that a lot of these people are going through this, and it's a tough time. It's a tough time, and it's crazy to me that even in all these things that is happening right now, Treyarch still comes out on top somehow. And it's
Yep.
insane to me that these developers, no matter what, they're still out here trying to fix the game and out of nowhere even release a brand new zombies map in less than 2 weeks. It's insane to even think about. So, Revive, you live near that area and such. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about the developers dealing with all this stuff? I want to get your perspective on this.
Yeah. So honestly, I just want people to know that these devs work very hard, and as much as sometimes things that go on in the community, there's problems, there's issues. Like these people are real people too, and I've seen a lot of people honestly these days not really look at the devs like they're humans, and I just want people to know that these people go through so much, and these fires are a great indicative of what's going on right now and the difficulties that and struggles that these devs have had, and these fires, people have lost their homes. Like there's just a lot going on, and I just want to ask people to give the devs a little bit more respect, a little bit more leeway, and show respect to them and all of the prowess they have. And I think they've been doing an amazing job. So just want people to know to just give the devs a little bit more leeway and credit.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, a lot of people always use the 4 years excuse. You would see it in every reply, in every tweet that they make and such. They're like, "Oh, 4 years, 4 years," and I'm like, you think it's 4 years, but understand game development. It's not that they just start coding a game right off the bat when they finish making a previous game. You gotta design the game, you gotta come up with the idea of the game, and on top of that, you're still working on your previous game, and you're still working on other games as well. Because Treyarch has been working on ranked play. They've been working on what was the other modes that they were working on? I'm not super sure, but they were working on other modes as well. But mostly ranked play was, and obviously Vanguard zombies and then Modern Warfare zombies as well. Sorry, I don't know why that just blew off my mind for a second there. But yeah, so they've been working on other modes other than, Black Ops 6 as a game and such. So when you use the 4-year argument, please understand that it's not, that once 2020 hits, they already started coding the game and they already have the whole game set. No. They literally have to plan out the game. They literally have to figure out what they're gonna do with the game. What's their intentions? What's their design philosophy and such. And then probably like within 2 years later, that's when they really start production on the game itself. So yeah, they had 4 years, but in reality, it's just a little bit more time to themselves. It's not as much as many people think. I know 4 years sounds like a lot, but it's not true really. You know, um, and they're going through a lot right now, as with the L.A. fires and stuff. It's insane that they're even out here producing so much content, let alone for zombies. Like, ask anyone in the zombies community, like, did you think a map would have released 54
In
days
January. Yeah.
after the Citadel, or in January? Would you think you would be at DLC 2 by January? Let me ask you that. Who? No one would say, yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. No, that was so impossible to even think about. It's crazy, but it's a reality, and we'll discuss it soon. But I think it's important that we bring up that topic because I know a lot of people, just don't bring it up and they just, hate on the devs, bringing so much criticism towards them. And I just, there is time for criticism and such, but it's also important to understand that they're human, right? And when we
Yep.
talk to them, we are talking to them as human. We're talking to them with respect. You see, when I make videos about feedback, I'm not saying here that Treyarch is, crap or anything. No, I'm talking
Hmm.
to the developers. I'm talking to them because I only want the game to be good, right? And I want to enjoy the game. And if there is a moment in time where the game is not great, yeah, I'll critique it. But I also understand that, stuff like this doesn't get fixed right away.
Hmm.
It's going to take time. So I only ask for the community, if you're watching this episode of the podcast, understand the situation. That's it, you know. And I'm also going to leave a link in the description to the American Red Cross so you guys have a lot more information on the LA fires and such. And if you want to donate, you can donate there as well. And there's other different donations you can make um towards the LA fires and such. So go show support, understand the devs, and let's applaud Treyarch right here for even working, and not just Treyarch, every single game dev studio that is still working, even though they're dealing with all of that. Like, applause to all the developers. I appreciate you guys trying to keep all the gamers happy and such. So major applause to all of you. Thank you. Alrighty,
Yep.
so with that down, um, I think it's time to get into the big news today. So it's 115 Day, January 15th. We celebrate this every single year since Call of Duty Zombies ever started and such. Um, but yeah, let's be real as well. 115 Day hasn't been super special. Like, it hasn't been super crazy in most years.
Yeah.
The only years that are pretty memorable were the Jason Blundell Q&A, which was at the it was like in the beginning of the post-launch cycle of BO4.
Yep.
And then the year after we got another
The
115 Day
don't
post,
freeze.
which was
Yep.
the Don't Freeze thing for Tagged or Toten. Um, so that was another great thing because there was still an unsolved thing to find there. And then pretty much I don't think we got anything. Oh no, I think Cold War was that Firebase was coming out early or in season 1 Reloaded, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so Firebase Z was going to be releasing in season 1 Reloaded, not season 2. So that was for Cold War. And then the year after that with Vanguard, they revealed that a super Easter egg was coming for Cold War, and then they revealed that round base was coming to Vanguard Zombies. I mean that wasn't huge news because that's like I mean Vanguard wasn't great and all, but it was cool to see that they were saying, all right, we're gonna do a round base map or two round base maps for Vanguard later on in the future, and then they also revealed the Cold War Super Easter egg, which was also a great reward to have um after you completed all the Easter eggs. So 115 Day wasn't super hype or whatever, but it was nice to have because that was the one day where Treyarch can communicate with the zombies community. And I think, coming with Black Ops 6 Zombies, with all the stuff that we talked about in the previous podcast, how you know, Black Ops 6 in general was just not in a great spot, but with more communication and stuff, you know, things can get better. And I think a lot of people waited for 115 Day to be that thing because it's the one day where Zombies fans really get noticed, and it's their special day. And I think Treyarch lived up to that today. Um, so let's pull it up here. The 115 Day blog post that dropped today. So yeah. I actually forgot to ask you, Revived. 115 Day to you, like how you felt about 115 Day in general previously and such.
Well, yeah, I mean, you said it best, to be honest. Like the last, what, 3, 4 years has been pretty bad because, like, one, there hasn't been a Treyarch game in like 4 years at this point. So there's just not been like at the end of the day, they do a lot of good stuff for 115 Day, but like when it's not their year, it's kind of like, well, what can you really do? Like it's kind of limited in terms of what you can do. This is the first time since I would say Black Ops 4 where we actually got something substantial. And this year might even be better because we got a whole new map to talk about soon.
Yeah. Alrighty. So 115 Day has arrived. So it's January 15th. They don't even know. We don't make the rules. They even said it there. But yeah, it's a great day to be a Zombies fan today. Because this is the one day that we celebrate. Any news coming out for zombies and such. So yeah. So the first thing that they announced as a thing for Black Ops 6 Zombies for right now from January 15th to the 21st. They're going to be having a double Gobblegum earn rate, the double player XP, the double weapon XP, and the double battle pass XP from January 15th to the 21st. So that's going to be awesome to have to grind out some Gobblegums before the next map drops. So before we even get into the tomb, which has a beautiful logo, I think this is the one of the best logos we had. I'll be honest. What do you think,
Oh
Revive,
yeah,
of that
that's
logo?
a it's a pretty banger uh logo, honestly. Like I actually like it a lot. Pretty cool.
Yeah, this logo looks insane. And what's funny is that I made a tweet. A couple days ago, and I said, "What are your predictions for the next Zombies map's name?" And one of my predictions was Le Tembu. I don't know how to pronounce it in French, but that was basically the Origins original name. So Origin's name was originally the Tomb, but in French. So since I thought we were going, well, we are in France still, but since we were going to France, I said, oh, maybe with all this stuff dropping about the Origins alpha build and such, it'd be so cool if they just called the map Le Tembu. But instead, what they did call it the Tomb, but they just kept it in English, which is fine.
Yeah.
I like
Which
this.
is also think about it this way. So they did it like a yin and yang. We had Citadel des Morts, which is obviously French, and now we have Latum, but it's in English. So like they kind of did like a yin and yang where one map
Yeah.
was English, one map was um in French. So like it's kind of I actually like it. It's a really cool nod.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a really great nod to like Origins and stuff. And the whole we've been talking about the Origin stuff since the cutscene for Citadel because they said a dig site in northern France. So everyone's like first thing Origins and stuff. I kind of denied it at first, because I was like, all right, it's just a play on words. It's not something huge, but I'm about to eat my words because it's pretty much. It seems like they're really taking inspiration from Origins here. So I'm not complaining at all. I just didn't really expect it to be like a full on Origins like theme. But it seems like they're really going with like the theme of like previous maps. So like Citadel was the Rising Drag, and now
Yeah,
the tomb is like taking inspiration from Origins now.
yeah.
Uh, so it's really cool to see that, and I think we've really seen that with all the Black Ops 6 Zombies maps. Like, um, Terminus is like Mob of the Dead and Zetsubo combined together. You know,
Hmm.
Liberty Falls, I would say it's like Transit. You know, like a more round based version of Transit, more condensed version of Transit. Um, so I wonder what they're gonna do for the next two maps afterwards. What inspiration are they gonna take? And they really go deep into like,
Oh, I
yeah.
have an idea.
Oh, you have an idea?
Well,
Oh,
just a quick one.
all right,
Janus
all right.
Towers and Die Rise.
Janus Towers and Dire. That's a cool one.
Think about it,
Well,
because like, there's a rumor that we're gonna get grappling hook, so imagine it's like, instead of elevator shafts, like, we get around with a grappling hook.
that's
That's just a quick thought I had, but, like, that's so it's almost like with this game, what they're doing is they're not doing, like, remakes, reimaginings, they're not doing that, but they're taking, like, ideas of previous Zombies maps and doing a different idea based on that previous idea. So, they're
yeah,
doing with Citadel, it's a castle, but it's a completely different type of castle, like, it's not really anything like DE. This map is
yeah,
probably going to be the idea of Origins, but in terms of it being like this underground area, this dig site, but it's not going to be an actual like Origins reimagining or anything. But there's probably going to be some Origins elements in the map. So it's kind of
yeah,
like that, where like they're taking previous ideas of zombie maps and redoing those ideas in a different way, which I think is cool because like it's kind of what people ask for. We don't want remakes, we don't want reimaginings really. We want new maps, but taking interesting ideas that previously were maps and doing a new spin on it.
yeah. And the cool thing about that is that since a lot of players are new to Black Ops 6 Zombies, and we're gonna discuss all the stuff that they talked about because it's really interesting to bring up and such. But a lot of these players playing Black Ops 6 Zombies are all new, right? So they never experienced those old maps like we did, right? So maybe playing the Tomb, right? They're gonna experience what Origins felt to us back in 2013, you know? So that's gonna be a great feeling to have. And yeah, I'm very excited. So we're gonna talk about the tomb in a little bit. Let's talk about the quality of life improvements because I think this is something that I'm interested in. Because it's stuff that I feel like should have been in the game right away. And yeah, we'll discuss it. And I'm actually going to close the Wonder Bar podcast logo here so we can have that nice and clear here for everyone to read. Um, but first off, the challenge tracking and near completion thing. So this is basically in-game tracking. You basically select 10 challenges per different mode, and you can look at the pause screen in order to see where you're at. So this was something from Modern Warfare 3, which everyone loved. I think Modern Warfare 3 was the first one to do that, which was a huge quality of life improvement. But it never came into Black Ops 6 right off the bat. And that was a huge problem because at that time, it's a whole new camo grind starting, a massive one. And, there wasn't a lot of camo trackers yet and such. So the only way you could camo track is by saving and quitting or backing out of the game in order to see what challenge you had to do, which is annoying for some players and such. Great thing that save and quit was in the game, but it's kind of annoying that you have to save and quit because there's a lot of
Yeah.
penalties when you have to save and quit in zombies because sometimes you'll have to deal with more amalgams in a round when you're going back, or you had to deal with another bug round, which at that time it took a long time to complete and such. So really happy to see that this is coming. I know people may say this is late and such, but something that I think was brought up in like something I don't remember. It was like a Warzone stream that I was watching. Um, but they were saying how that when this game was being made, it was basically made before any of those quality of life improvements in Modern Warfare 3 were even made. So like they're just backtracking at that point. That's why like Urzikstan, like it doesn't have Superstore and stuff because Black Ops 6 or all the Omni movement mechanics weren't made at that time. So they just backtrack to the original version of Urzikstan for Black Ops 6, which I mean it didn't make sense at the time, but I kind of get it now. But I don't understand why that's even happening because the whole point of COD HQ is to like for each game to progress and grow on top of each other. So I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on there. Kind of weird. I don't know. What you think about that revived?
Yeah, I don't really know what to think about it, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing for me because I was like, man, COD HQ, like if this is with Modern Warfare 3 right off the bat here, man, I can't wait for BO6 to have this, but it didn't. So kind of a weird situation. I don't know why they do it like that. Maybe it was just an issue with like these couple games because I think Black Ops 6 is the second game with COD. No, sorry, not second game, third game with COD HQ. So maybe they're still
Yeah.
dealing with all that stuff. I know it's like third game. They should have done this with the second game already. I mean, like, who knows? Game development is a pretty finicky thing. I can't tell you the ins and outs. Maybe someone else can in the comment section if you are a game dev. Maybe you can explain it better than me, but I can't really explain it. But it's great to have this regardless. Great job, Treyarch. This is great. Um Co-op pause. So this is great to
Thank God.
have. Thank God, for real. I can tell you how many times I needed this playing co-op with family
Yeah,
members
yeah,
because
with
it's
you and
time
me
to
freaking doing the Easter egg, we need to go on pause. I'm like, I gotta go piss. Can we fucking pause the game, please?
yeah, so it's insane that this one took a while, but I understand it's a little bit more complicated because this
Yeah,
game is fully online. This game is fully online. So I wonder how co-op pause or even how long you can even co-op pause. That's gonna be interesting to even see how that works. Like, can you only pause for like 5 minutes or 15 minutes like you can in solo? I don't know how that's gonna work. It better be a full-on pause because I feel like in some cases, you know, some people might have to leave early on and such. But yeah, regardless, great thing to come back. I know this is gonna be great for us when we Easter egg hunt, because
yeah. Oh, for sure.
I tell you when we have to like sit down for a couple hours trying to solve an Easter egg. Yeah, there's moments where we want to eat a snack or use the bathroom and such, and the co-op pause is just not there. So I'm
Thank
just
God. Yep,
happy it's gonna be there right now. Um,
that's a big one. Yep.
yep. AF AFK kick loadout recovery. So if a player gets kicked for going AFK in a co-op game, now they will be able to rejoin and restore their loadout. So this is great, but I'm wondering if this is gonna go per se like what if they crash, right? Is this going to be something that works for other things, not just for AFK, but for crashing? Because and also this is another thing that happened with our Easter egg hunt. Like we had some glitches and stuff, and I know there was a massive bug. I don't know why. I think you remember during Jingle Hells where um literally I could not hold square on anything. It was like that Revelations glitch where the summoning key glitches and you can't do anything at all and you have to go down. Even going down in Black Ops 6 wouldn't solve the issue. So I had to back out of the game and basically I had to restart my loadout and such. Um, so I'm wondering if this is gonna go for that as well, because I feel like that's a big problem as well. I don't know if that'll go beyond the AFK, but it's great that for AFK stuff they'll keep your stuff. so that's not gonna hurt you in any way. Well, what do you think about that revived?
No, I agree with you honestly. Like with this, I don't know. I mean, I don't really like with the pause edition too. I think it'll be less people going AFK as well. So like when you're in co-op or whatever, like because like sometimes it was finicky before, where like you really weren't AFK for that long and it kicked you. They fixed that, I'm pretty sure, but I think it's good that they're at least trying to fix some parts of the AFK stuff and make sure you get your loadout back.
Yeah, that's great. And then this is the big one because this is what people have been asking for since launch. The separate HUD presets for zombies and multiplayer. At last, you'll be able to
Got
set up the HUD preset settings you prefer for zombies and keep an entirely different setup for MP without having to change them between modes. So they needed to get this one out sooner. They knew that, but they had to focus on higher priorities as they came up. So that's completely fair. And I think I know why this was a problem because I feel like with COD HQ at the time, right? Um there wasn't really a separate zombies mode. And the only zombies mode we had with COD HQ was Modern Warfare Zombies, right? And the whole idea of Modern Warfare Zombies was worked off from Warzone and DMZ. So the HUD would remain the same regardless. So there was no need for like HUD custom HUDs and stuff and etc. But with Black Ops 6, obviously the big thing was that, a lot of people don't like the Warzone HUD. They don't like the mini map. They don't like how the perks are placed. They don't like where certain things are placed. So that's where the whole custom HUD thing came from. I know for the past 4 years I've been saying like this should have been the thing, and I'm glad they listened to that. And it was great to have that at launch. But the problem is that the HUDs, I had to keep a specific HUD for zombies, and then that HUD would transfer over to multiplayer. So I would be playing multiplayer most of the time without a HUD, without a mini map, and like I can't play like that. That would be basically playing like hardcore at that point in core, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm really glad this is coming out. Um, you know, sure it kind of came out by launch. This should have been a priority thing, whatever. But at least it's coming out. It's not, coming out season 6, it's coming out season 2. So that's fine. And like we mentioned with all the issues that they're dealing with and such, this is great. So that is the quality of life coming into Black Ops 6 Zombies for season 2. And I expected a little bit more, but for what we have right now, this is fantastic. I think this is a great start. So if season 2 Reloaded can add more stuff, great. Season 3, great. I hope just if there's more quality of life improvements, get them out earlier. Just don't keep it until like season 6 because by the time season 6 comes out, the next game is coming out. And then what if those quality of life improvements never come into the next game? What if we have the same problem again? So I just hope, you know, and this goes for like every Call of Duty coming out later on, you know, keep the quality of life improvements, you know, going through each game. Don't make people wait for it to come back, you know. Keep it flowing because that just makes the game better and that just keeps the consistency that people want to see. So great quality of life. We'll definitely talk about more quality of life stuff that they can bring into zombies in another podcast and such. But yeah, let's continue on with the directed mode because this one is also huge, and then we'll talk about the map. Um, so directed mode. Um, so let's talk about Easter eggs in general. So Revive, me and you have done pretty much every single Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg at this point, right?
Yeah.
Um, what do you mostly like about, Call of Duty Zombies Easter eggs?
Well, I would say what I like about the most is just, well, to be honest, I just like doing them because ever since they were introduced and zombies had them and I started doing my first one, the thing I really loved about them is that it kind of felt like I was almost doing a campaign mission without really doing one, but in a way, it was more of like completing a task and making something like a goal in mind when I played the game. Because Zombie started off, in the beginning where it was mainly a survival aspect game, right? You hoard up your points, you buy your guns, get your pack a punch, all this stuff. Like it's a survival mode, but Easter eggs just added a flair and uniqueness and kind of made zombies feel like a completely different type of game compared to any other zombies game because and really if you think about it most other games that are zombies are either directly survival or the main purpose is going through kind of like a campaign where you're going through a story and you're fighting zombies. There was never like a middle area where it's a survival game but you're also able to do a quest, a unique thing that kind of brings more like life to the mode in general. Like just I loved getting on, doing Easter eggs with my friends, like, going through the boss fights, especially. Those are so much fun doing them. Struggling sometimes to do it first try. Like, it was just really fun. And I think Easter eggs are like probably the main reason I still play the game because, like, I'm not really a high round person and I just don't really enjoy doing like the same thing over and over as much. But like Easter eggs are like the main reason I just love playing zombies.
Yep, exactly how I feel. I really think Easter eggs, ever since they were introduced back in Ascension, really elevated the mode to like a whole new standard, right? There's something beyond surviving, right? There's, you know, the way Easter eggs evolved in Call of Duty Zombies is insane. And you know, it wouldn't be the same, if like they just dropped a map right now with no Easter egg. It wouldn't feel the same. There's no hype to a map without an Easter egg. The Easter egg is like the bread and butter of it all. It's that thing that really gets you excited because you're so excited to experience a story. You're excited to find the Easter egg and such. You're excited to witness the boss fight and such, and you're so excited to see how that all culminates in the end. So I love Easter eggs, and I think something great that Treyarch has really been trying for since Cold War really is really trying to get more people involved with Easter eggs. And that's great. That's absolutely great. Because Easter eggs back in the day, and they even said that here, is that most of the launch maps with Easter eggs, they never cracked 4%, which is insane. Um, so, well, I think that says for Black Ops 6 zombies in general. Let me see. Yeah, just Black Ops 6 zombies in general. It didn't crack 4%. And the thing with those two maps is that those are following the philosophy of, trying to cater to the hardcore players, but also giving a logical Easter egg for regular players who are new to the game so they can actually do and solve. So it's crazy how that number still wasn't cracked. I think that's absolutely insane. 4%? 4% of players only did, or
So,
less than
so yeah,
4% of players
are we sure this? So this is my only question. Are we talking about 4% of like the people who played zombies? If I'm guessing right, because I don't think they wouldn't do a stat where it's like 4% of the people that just play the game
play
because
Black
then
Ops 6.
yeah, that wouldn't really make sense because then what
Yeah,
you're
I
basing.
think it's
I would
4.
assume it's based off of who plays zombies. That's the
Yeah,
stat.
because they said 480 million hours into Black Ops 6 Zombies.
Okay, yeah.
So,
So here we go. Yeah.
so they definitely have the stats of people who are playing zombies specifically. Maybe what they do here in terms of stats is that they get a percentage or they get the player base based on how many hours they played zombies. So let's say, for example, if this player played more than 10 hours of zombies, so we're going to track their stats, right? So we're going to track those players' stats. So if you have more 10 hours played in zombies, your stats are going to track. So let's say that 4% or less than 4% is people who played more than 10 hours of zombies and they did the Easter egg. That's a small percentage. And then the other percentage, which is over 90, is the ones who just play zombies. They just play zombies. They don't care about Easter eggs. They just play zombies for fun. and that's completely fine. But it's
Yeah.
interesting to see now, right? Because before Black Ops 6 came out, we've been saying that Treyarch needs like a guided mode, kind of like what World War II zombies did with the Final Reich, right? They had the casual Easter egg, and then they had the hardcore Easter egg. So the
Yep.
casual Easter egg guides you through the entire thing, right? And then there's a hardcore Easter egg which follows the same casual Easter egg, but there's extra steps, and it's a little bit more like you gotta think and such, and you gotta solve the Easter egg from there on. So we wanted that to come back. So what Treyarch decided to do is that, all right, we're gonna create the Easter egg, right? And this Easter egg, while it's going to be a little bit more complex, it's still going to have logic to it so that any regular player can still manage to figure stuff out on their own without a guide. And that's completely fine. And then what they're going to do is that later on, they'll release a mode called Directed Mode, which is going to guide the player throughout the entire Easter egg, just guiding them. So they say 4% or less than 4% completed the Easter eggs in Black Ops 6 Zombies. And that was before the release of Directed Mode. So, starting on November 14th, that all changed. So, their goal from the start of Directed Mode was simple: grow the Zombies community by guiding new players through the main quest with some guardrails in place so they can experience the storyline and hopefully become lifelong Zombies fans. Thankfully, the numbers are promising. Since Directed Mode went live, our average main quest completion rate has more than doubled, going from 3.38% on November 14th to 8.23% today.
This is wild.
That's
That is absolutely wild.
insane. That's insane how
Nearly
much Directed
10% of
Mode
people
changed.
are doing the Easter eggs. That's really wild, especially when you compare, like, really think about it. All these Easter eggs take a lot to code in, a lot to develop, and in the past, if you really think about it, through all the previous games, like, I don't think there's ever been a time where it's been more like, I don't think for any game there's been more than 4% of people that have played a map and done the Easter egg. Like, even if you look at the achievements in the past, like, there's been very little maps that even get to that point. So,
Yeah.
like, it just shows, like, what they're doing right now, trying to get more people involved and wanting to do the directed mode, leading them to do the main quest. Like, it's just like that's exactly what the devs and the community should want. More people that are going to be interested in the main quest means that at launch, when there is no guided mode, you're gonna have even more players doing the main quest at launch. It's almost like, how do I explain it? It's almost like people needed to know what the Easter eggs were to get interested in them. And I think there were so many players that played zombies in the past that didn't even know what Easter eggs were because they just saw it as a survival mode. And I think that's the main thing that Treyarch's trying to do is they're trying to get more people to understand that there is a deeper level of zombies, so that they could do these quests and really get those numbers up, almost so they can just progress into a good state where they know a lot of people are playing all their content in the maps.
Yeah. And this is really great to see because, even though it's, 8.23%, right? There's still 90% of players who don't do the Easter egg at all. They're just playing zombies. And you know what about that? That's completely fine. Maybe people are just not as interested in Easter eggs. And that's not a bad thing. Maybe they just want to have a nice fun mode where they just kill zombies for fun. And that was um Treyarch's idea with, Cold War zombies and Black Ops 6 zombies. They just want a fun mode that people can enjoy. And it's really great to see that, even though they have these low percentages, right? They see it as progress and they are still going to try to bring that number up. They want to break through that threshold of 90%. Like they want to get lower than 90%, right? They want to get over that 10% of players completing Easter eggs and such. Because right now it's at 8.23. So I really love this, and I love that they shared these stats because I've been wondering about this for a while. I want to see like is direct mode really making a difference, right? And it is. And that's great because a lot of people like myself have been saying, well, director mode is really like this, camo grinding mode and such. But even though people are using it as a camo grind, the mode is still doing its job.
Yeah.
It's still doing the job, and it doubled it. It didn't just bump it up 1%, it doubled it. Absolutely insane. And huge applause to Treyarch for trying that. And this should be a standard. This has to be a standard going on. You know, have the players, hunt the Easter egg. Hardcore players, give a, give a pretty difficult quest because if you know the quest is going to be guided in direct mode, at least now it's going to, get, you know, completed by those players who really don't like to solve Easter eggs and such. They just want to get guided through it and experience the story and such. So this is great. So what does this mean for like the future of, Easter eggs and such? Because I've been saying for a while that the Easter egg formula, sorry, has been pretty samey, I would say. It's like same old. It's basically been open pap, get Wonder Weapon, use Wonder Weapon to get specific item. Specific item opens this to get another item. Place this item there. Boss fight. Cutscene. So
Yeah.
the formula has been the same, right? But there's certain maps where like it kind of changes it and takes it a whole other level and such. Um, but with the Cold War, round based maps and even Black Ops 6, it's kind of been the same thing. That's why they even introduced like the Wonder Bar Gobblegum, right? Because now you can just pop that Gobblegum, get the Wonder Weapon, and basically you don't have to do the Wonder Weapon quest anymore. You already have the Wonder Weapon. You can continue with the Easter egg and such. So that's the whole thing there. So the formula has been the same. And I've been saying for a while, I think what they should do is change up the formula. Change it up. Not, change it up crazy like, oh, just put something outside the map that someone has to find. No, I'm not asking for that. No. Before people take it out of context or whatever, no. I don't want a Revelations type of Easter egg at all. And I also don't want one where there's multiple locations. I do like multiple locations, but not like excessive multiple locations like Blood of the Dead bird spawns and such. Um, Nothing like that. They should just change it up really, like change up the formula. Don't make it the same because if they make it the same, everyone knows what to do. So if they change up the formula, everyone's gonna be a bit confused. Like, oh wait, I thought I would be using the Wonder Weapon at this point, but maybe this step is not required. That maybe the Wonder Weapon is required at like literally the end of the Easter egg, and it just throws people off and such. So stuff
Yeah.
like that is good. What do you think about that revive? How you feel about the Easter eggs? Like the formula so far?
Oh yeah, no, I agree with you. It's kind of follow the same formula. Um, so I think we'll see what they're gonna do now. I think Liberty Falls is kind of the most different in terms of the formula, but Terminus and Citadel kind of followed the same formula a little bit. I agree. So I think we'll see what they do with this map. I mean, maybe that's what they mean by the similarities between the new map and Liberty Falls, that they're kind of taking a different path with the quest.
Yeah,
Maybe that's one of the things they're going with there. So we'll see. But I definitely agree there been a similarities with the formula. So let's see if they change it up a little bit.
yeah. So overall, great stats, great communication from Treyarch. I absolutely love to see this. Let's keep getting more players playing Easter eggs because this only helps the story to continue. This helps the how can I say this? The foundation of zombies, let's say, to keep that foundation going, keep it strong, keep the root strong there. So zombies can keep on having Easter eggs, keep on having more players join in and embrace the story. And yeah, I can't wait to see, how Easter eggs, if they do evolve or they do improve in any shape or form based on these stats, it's going to be a great time to experience this all alongside new players and such. Um
Absolutely.
and then I guess finally we can finally talk about the tomb. I know we took a while, but I thought it was important to bring up those topics first as well because
Yes.
yeah, this is great information from Treyarch, and yeah, the tomb, the tomb.
Speaking of the tomb, so while we were discussing, there was actually a another screenshot posted on Twitter from Treyarch. So there's even
Oh
more to cover with the tomb. So there's and there's some very similar aspects to it. So I have it pulled up right now as we go into the map a little bit. So yeah, will
yeah.
be
Oh,
a lot
so
to
they
go
did
into.
release another like a teaser here.
Yeah, a little
Let
teaser
me
in the
see
image.
here. Um, oh, so they did have another image. Ooh, what is this here?
So yeah, here I'm gonna put this image in the chat real quick. There's so we have that image, right? We have the new image they just posted, and people are showing like similarities between this and this, which was from the Frozen Dawn.
Oh yeah,
This
the I know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, I am definitely seeing that right now.
very
Um,
similar type of structure
ooh,
with like the little pillars and stuff. Like this is really interesting. So yeah, we got another image to add on to the others already in the blog post. Very, very nice.
nice. So yeah, let's get into the blog post here. Let's see where are we heading with the tomb. So let's give a recap for Citadel. They also give it here. So well, actually, first off, let's drop the bombshell here. It's releasing at the start of season 2 on January 28th. January 28th. And you know
Yeah,
what's crazy?
yep,
Back in Cold War, Firebase Z on January 28th still wasn't out yet. And we only had Die Machine at that time.
yep.
By this time, by January 28th, we're going to have Liberty Falls, Terminus, Citadel, and now the Tomb. 4 round based maps. 4. So we're basically at the
Crazy.
point where Cold War got 4 round based maps, and we're not even in February.
If you really think about it too, the way they're doing this is kind of what the community has asked for back during Black Ops 4. Everyone was talking about how they wished that they would separate the map so there was a more spread out timeline. And if you really think about it, this is what that would have probably looked like.
Yeah.
If they had think about it this way. If imagine they had so we know that they had the 4 maps ready for launch in BO4.
Yep.
So if they only released 2 of them and kind of spread the maps out to prolong the replayability cycle of the game, this is what the schedule would probably have looked like. A map at 2 maps at launch, another one like about a month and a half later, and then another one about a month and a half later. So like it's crazy. They're kind of in a way taking feedback from all those years ago and doing it now, except people didn't really understand that they had all these maps pretty much ready because they've been releasing them back to back to back. So
Yeah.
I think that's incredible that
That
they're
is
kind of doing that.
that is absolutely true. So, like, if we're even thinking about like how Black Ops 4 could have worked, um, we know that Dead of the Night was supposed to be a launch map, but that didn't release because the voice actor schedules and all that stuff. So, let's just say if Dead of the Night did come out on time, right? So, launch could have been Blood of the Dead. It could have been Dead of the Night, and I'm gonna assume they would have probably released a Voyage as well, because I think you would have to still set up the characters, the crew, and such. So you have your 3 launch maps there. So still 3, which is more than what Black Ops 6. drop, which is 2, but it's still crazy and such. So 3. And then I think what they could have done, right? DLC 1, they would have probably released 9, right? And what they could have done in between 9 and Ancient Evil is release Classified as a nice small survival map. And at that point, they could have probably added an Easter egg to Classified at that point. Because Classified didn't release with an Easter egg. It was around 150 Easter egg. So, they could have released an Easter egg at that point because they would have had a little bit more dev time. So it's so interesting to see, like, maybe they're just finally seeing, like, hey guys, maybe, I know the community wants a lot of stuff at one point, but maybe it's better to not do that. Maybe it's time to like sprinkle it little by little in like slow like close time periods and such. And that's completely what's happening here. Like, it's insane to even think about. January 28th, I'm already going to see the next part of the Dark Ether story, and I cannot wait to see if the Sentinel artifact is in this. I just want to see
Yeah,
it. I want to see
and
it so
also
badly.
also, dude, I think so we have new rumors coming out that we're gonna get at least there's gonna be at least 3 more maps after this map. So that's pretty wild that we're gonna probably get 5 DLC maps in a launch cycle for the first time ever in Zombies, which is wild, dude. Like this Zombies year is probably gonna go down in the fucking history books of Zombies maps or Zombies DLC seasons.
Yeah.
It's wild, dude.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, let's continue reading. I know we're kind of going on a rant, but like this is like such huge news for us. Like, we've been talking about it since Treyarch made the announcement, really. Like, that they're saying that they're gonna reveal the next map. We were like thinking, all right, this is for season 2 Reloaded. Or like most people were saying season 3, but I was Revive made the point pretty clear previous podcast. Is that season 3 is going to be Warzone focused with Verdansk and everything. Um, and that definitely seems to be the case here because it looks like season 2 is going to be another zombies focused season, which is insane. Zombies is getting the spotlight over multiplayer and Warzone. Who would have thought we would have seen the day?
Yep,
Absolutely
absolutely.
insane. But after surviving the horrific events at Citadel Des Morts, Weaver, Gray, Carver, and Maya follow Gabriel Kraft's final words to a nearby excavation site to secure the Sentinel artifact, built on the remains of an ancient burial grounds with suspended origins, dating back to 2500 BCE. These catacombs went undisturbed for centuries until the early 1900s. I didn't even see that. And what lies beneath may run deeper than anyone ever imagined. So I didn't even see this when I first read it, but the early 1900s, oh, guess what happened in the early 1900s as well? The
Yeah, the
chaos
chaos story,
story.
and
Oh my.
right here it says I'll say so. We have the as the rumors have it, a British archaeologist by the name of Sir Archibald conducted an excavation back on the site in 1908 with grand expectations, and obviously he was sent by Alistair Rhodes to go excavate the site and basically look for the Sentinel artifact. And it says also, although no one can say for sure what became of him, a handful of photographs from his doomed expedition have recently surfaced.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we can go into the images if you want.
Yeah.
We have the first one. So it says, Majori, you would simply not believe this place. Dash pyramids can go take a jump in the lake. So like this is gonna be you see kind of like a triangle here. Like it looks like a door, right? It looks like a triangle with a
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
Dude, bro,
You
that
know what?
almost looks like what were you gonna say?
It looks like the Dark Ether portals from Modern Warfare Zombies.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good shout, honestly. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, that's I mean that's interesting. Like Wow, dude, this map is gonna be insane in terms of just
Yeah.
like the
So, so they conducted an excavation in 1908.
yeah,
Um, we know Voyage of Despair takes place in 1912. So that's 4 years before the events of the Chaos Story and such. So it's insane to even think about, right? That the possibly, possibly, I can't say for sure, right? Possibly the events of the Chaos Story have already happened, right? Um,
yep,
because we can say that it did happen and such, but what we're not sure is like if they actually happened and then like the whole dark ether stuff, kind of just came into the chaos world and such. I don't know. That's just a theory. Um but it's interesting that we're getting, these year dates because, you know, Treyarch knows, like, Chaos fans know this stuff. They know the times and such. So to know that this was in the early 1900s that they were looking for the Sentinel artifact and such, um, this is what it is. And I'm still wondering which artifact is it, because we have Danu from Dead of the Night. Um, which one was it? The Odin, I think Odin was the no. Odin, yeah, Odin was Voyage, Ra was 9, and then
9,
Zeus
yeah,
was Ancient Evil.
even able, yeah.
Yep.
So I wonder
So
if this is a new one. What if this is like a new
this is a
again
whole
because we
new
have
god.
what I that's what I'm saying. What if the owl and something with the new gods kind of takes place in this where he is a new god and he is a new
Yeah.
he created a new artifact. Like
Yeah.
that could be a possibility. We could have a whole new artifact here.
Yeah, so this is insane. So continuing on here, we crafted the tune to provide an experience similar to Liberty Falls, by far our most played zombies map in recent years, featuring tighter play spaces with a focus on replayability. Just like in Liberty Falls, we're delivering plenty of side Easter eggs and even a reimagined wonder weapon inspired by our past. That's all we'll say about that for now. But we'll talk about, for now, because they actually make another tease about it later on. Um, so as a reminder, every zombies map in Black Ops 6 is an original location built from the ground up for the mode. But that doesn't mean we can't enjoy a wink or nod here and there. On that note, we're going for something a little more evocative with our Pack-a-Punch camos this time around. And what if we told you one of the most iconic SMGs in zombies history was coming along for the ride? So, wow. Um, Liberty Falls as an inspiration. How do you feel about that?
So yeah, I it's kind of hard to tell what they exactly mean by Liberty Falls, in terms of the inspiration from it. I wonder if what they're talking about is one, like I said earlier, maybe it's kind of like they're going for a difference in like the quest design, and also maybe this means there's no power on this map. We kind of just go in and everything's turned on like Liberty Falls. So it's kind of more of like the setup might not be as uh expanded on like Terminus and Citadel were, if that makes sense. That's what my first expectation is, which I don't mind that being like that. Like I don't mind that the power and maybe the pack a punch process is simple. I don't really mind that as long as there's other things in the map to do. I think that's more important.
Yeah, 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 definitely. Um, and then they said that they yeah, I really like that they had to clarify this because a lot of people forgot about this. That every zombies map is an original location built from the ground up for the mode,
Which
which
yeah, I
is
also by the way, I think the original quote was that every map wasn't going to or all the maps weren't going to have inspiration from the campaign. So they actually confirmed that none of the maps are going to take any assets from anything in the game. So that's big. That's like basically saying all this stuff is new,
Yep.
which is really good.
But they also said, even though we said that, we're gonna tease like a little location from a previous thing in Zombie.
Yeah,
So,
which yep,
which
interesting.
definitely based by these pictures, I'm getting a lot of Origins vibes. Like, there's a lot of Origins, Nine Underground vibes, Ancient Evil. Like, oh my god,
The Frozen
they're
Dawn, like there's so
Frozen
many different.
Dawn, which is not even a Treyarch Zombies map, but it's like it's still something cool. You know, Frozen Dawn is one of my favorite maps. I think it's a top 10 map, honestly. Um, and I absolutely love the underground, areas in zombies and such. I absolutely love them. So this might be another favorite of mine because I love underground zombies maps all around. I love them. Um, and then they said the most iconic SMG. So right off the bat, I said PPSH because I just thought of Gora Krovi when like that thing appeared on the box and everyone freaked out. But a lot of people have been saying the MP40.
Yeah.
What you think? What do you think?
I think it probably might be the MP40 because like we haven't had that in a while, I think, right? When was the last time we had a
Uh,
MP40? Was it
I think it was
BO4?
BO4.
Yeah, so I think that's what they're gonna do. One, because it kind of fits the theming of like the excavation site, the origins kind of theming of like the map and the callbacks and stuff. Like, I think that would make sense because we've had the PPSH in Cold War, so it's kind of been a more recent one. So I think it would be kind of cool if they go to the MP40. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Little
yeah,
callback. We haven't had that
definitely
one,
agree.
not because last time we had that was in Vanguard technically, but like that was the last game, so I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. Um, and then we continue on with these images. So this site, blithering well doth both. Wait, what? I gave it. This site blithering well both. Oh, doth both baffle
In a
and
maze.
amaze. I suppose I shall have to thank Alistair for more than just the contents of his cellar. Hmm, cellar.
Interesting.
This is really great. So
Yeah.
stay tuned for more details on the gameplay content coming to the Tomb and Zombies overall in next week's season 2. Oh my god, so there's more stuff coming next week.
Yeah,
Gosh.
so we're gonna get the full blog post and all that next week, which is wild.
And the
We
Tomb
should probably go over
OST.
the third image as well.
Yeah, so we'll go over the third image. And then just to wrap up the blog post here. Um so we have another soundtrack coming from Kevin Sherwood. Awesome. I love the Easter egg songs and such. They're awesome. So I can't wait. Um and then the final thing is just going down below here. Someone posted a picture of a staff, right? And if you look at all the fan posts here, they all have one sentence, really. It's not a lot. It's a quick one. But with this person who's posting the staff, and here is an incredible fan made version of the Staff of Ice, which we're definitely not highlighting for any particular reason other than the quality of the craftsmanship on display.
Which I
Hmm,
think is it's crazy. They're the track really like just they're very on the nose with this stuff.
that is
I
classic
think it's
troll art
great.
there. Um,
Classic troll arc.
yeah,
Uh,
that's definitely hinting that we're getting a staff in some shape or form coming in the tomb. So
yep.
that's very exciting.
It's
And
wild,
then
dude.
the final teaser that we got. You want to read it, revived?
Oh yeah, I got it. So okay. So here in this vast natural cavern, a Neolithic temple constructed to honor long forgotten gods. I must say, this was well worth the risk. So that kind of teases, hey, there's gonna be some sort of kind of like crazy place type of place, or some sort of place that's gonna show off the gods of this of the
Forgotten
story here.
gods. Could
Which
they
the
be
Forgotten
talking
God,
about
that sounds like the four brothers. That sounds like the right because they were forgotten. The history.
True? Could be that, or what I was thinking as well is the Vanguard ones.
Yeah, also could be the Vanguard ones as well. That could be it too.
This is really interesting. Um, wow. I'm getting a lot of crazy crazy plays, Frozen Dawn vibes. Um, this I mean, to you, does this look like a boss fight arena? It to me it does.
Kind of does, yeah. Honestly, it
It
really
does,
kind of
or it
does.
looks like this is like the centerpiece. This is where the artifact is. I don't
Yeah,
think
it
we'll
could
see
be.
it
Yeah,
there.
could be
I don't think
placed.
we see
Yeah,
it there yet, but you know, it's gonna be there probably. Oh, this is gonna be
man. It's
awesome.
I can't wait, dude. It's crazy how this. But we're already getting another map and how crazy it looks,
I'm
dude.
like so happy that you know, even though the first two maps started with like science and stuff, you know, we've continued on with the the mythical, the fantastical stuff of zombies.
Yep.
And this map is definitely going to continue what Citadel Des Morts with the I don't think magic is going to be a part of this. It's going to be more like of a excavation site, and then there's just magic, or well, not magic, but like the fantastical elements and such involved
Yeah.
here and such. So absolutely, absolutely insane. I mean, everyone has been saying like, this is gonna be a crazy drop because it's coming out in 2 weeks. Um, so let's see what it a lot of people have been saying. So um, a lot of people have been saying MP40, MP40. Um, some people have been saying PPSH, um, and such. So yeah, man, I don't know. This is
Yeah, I
gonna
think
be interesting.
I
Oh,
honestly. Oh, what's up?
yeah, I forgot to mention this one. Yeah, sorry if I can't pronounce that first name, but at Just Optical, so he posted, I think it's the 9 Pap room, for one of the teasers here. Let me see if I blocked that on the podcast screen here. Um, So I think it was the second image where it's like the staircases. So it's like leading down. So like people, optical said it kind of gives you the 9 Pap room vibes, and I'm like, kind of does. It looks kind of good, and I'm really hoping I see this pack a punch machine, man. I mean, like I've been waiting for it for too long. I've been waiting for it for too long. I want
Oh,
it.
oh yeah, dude. No, if they don't do the chaos pack or a different pack, I'll be so like dude, it's literally teasing it. Like it's literally like giving us like that's what I was gonna say with that first image. By the way, it almost looks like it's like unveiling the pack. Like that room's gonna somehow unveil the pack a punch, and it's gonna be like a different version of the pack a punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
got to go with the
definitely.
version.
Oh, and you know what's crazy?
What's
You know
up?
what's crazy? What I'm noticing, the only wall buys I'm seeing is just armor plates so far. The armor vest. I don't think I've seen anything other wall buys unless I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. I think it's only
All
been
right, I'm just looking again.
armor.
All right, so I don't see any wall buys. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. They're hiding those wall buys because it's gonna be the chaos wall buy.
Bro, I would lose it. I would actually lose it.
And I
We've
said
been
this
asking for
before.
that.
I said this before. The asset is already in the game. It's been in the game since launch. So, oh my god, if this is really, oh dude, yeah, wait. I've never I think I'm more excited about this map than Citadel. And I think really is because Citadel set it up for like sets this map up so well because of the Sentinel artifact. like Terminus and Citadel just set up like this map. Like this map has to be the map where you see the Sentinel artifact in action.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. I feel like we gotta have it activated somehow, or at least find it and then get like a cliffhanger of it being activated, or be something crazy happening. Like there's gonna be some sort of like insane ending to the map or something. Like it's insane,
Yeah.
dude. Bro, I
Yeah,
can't
this
believe it. Like
is
we're getting a new map, underground areas, all this like chaosy vibes and temples and a staff. Like it's just like, bro, this is insane, dude. I don't know. Okay, I have a strange feeling about this map where I feel like this map might be the map I play the most in the game in terms of replayability. I have a
yeah.
weird feeling about that, but I have a feeling this map's going to be the map where a lot of people are going to play it, like in terms of just over and over and over. It's going to be a very easy to replay map. That's my first guess or predict what's it called prediction.
Ooh, so yeah, boy Badger. He said, also, are we just gonna forget the whole Janus god statue broken in the middle of the tomb? Project Janus. Janus is the god of passageways and doorways.
That could be
Oh,
right. That could be one of the gods. That could be the what? That could be
that's what I've been
the
saying.
god.
I've been saying that that artifact or the central artifact is Janus. And that's why like the whole Project Janus logo, it looks like a central artifact and such. So there was also an image in one of the teasers, or yeah, one of the teasers for Citadel, and the artifact, it looked exactly like the Project Janus logo. So um hopefully we'll find out in 2 weeks. That's gonna get confirmed. We're probably gonna get the cutscene next week, hopefully. Um I'm very excited. I think I'm more excited about this cutscene. Hopefully the cutscene does a little bit better than what Citadel did. Like come on, man, you got to show the artifact activating. You got
Oh yeah, I
to.
was gonna say. I know that as long as we don't do the same thing where we basically just learn the same thing that we already did with the radio, then I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm very excited. Yeah, 115 day is absolutely a banger this time around.
Oh, one
Really
one last
happy.
thing, by the way. So if you
Yeah.
actually go to the blog, there's another small tease that we didn't really see.
Yeah,
We didn't
well,
see at first.
where
If you
was
go
it?
down to the community post that they posted in the blog, and they go to the perk one, there's one that shows a bunch of perks, and at the bottom, they say, "Hell of a perk collection. Could our next perk a cola be somewhere in this photo?" Question mark. So they dot question mark. So basically hinting that it's probably going to be either Tombstone or Mule Kick as the next perk in uh in the game,
Or depth perception.
or Death Perception, one of those three. But I would assume since there's already Vulture's Aid, Death Perception wouldn't really make sense. So I would assume it's
I
either
honestly think it might be depth
Tombstone or Mule
perception,
Kick.
and the reason why I say that is because that is the one perk that is in the files right now.
Oh, Tombstone is as well, and Mule Kick. They're actually all in the files.
All of them? Oh.
Yeah, they're actually. That's why I don't really know. Like, it's kind of hard to tell which one, but we do know it's
Yeah,
probably one of those.
I'm you know maybe I don't really like to use leaks to say which is the one that's coming. Yeah, I didn't know that the mule, because I thought the mule kick one and the tombstone was because mule kick was like Cold War stuff like ported over, and then like tombstone is
Oh,
from like Modern Warfare zombies.
well,
Um
no, I think it's just because they all have they're just all in the game. Like there's just a bunch of perks in the files, and like we don't really know. We can't really tell which one's next. So
yeah.
we don't know, but we know it's gonna be at least one of those three.
So one of those
Either
three is gonna be our new perk. Honestly, Tombstone, I could care less about it.
well, I'm
Mule
not.
Kick,
Mule Kick, I'm honestly fine with because I mean, especially with some of its potential what's it called? Its modifiers and stuff. I
mm,
think I think it could maybe provide a good use
yeah.
ammo because
I'm
they
personally
really like
like
heavy ones.
with me with Mule Kick, I'm like, you already have 3 weapons, right? You have a
Yeah,
primary, you have the secondary, and then you have the melee weapon.
which
So
in other maps besides Citadel, I think it would be more of importance.
yeah,
Because then you can carry, say, if you're on this map and say there you can get a ray gun, you can get a wonder weapon, the wonder weapon, and you can get another gun. So you can kind of balance it out.
yeah,
The only map
true.
where it's not a big deal is Citadel because you obviously have the swords. So I think that's why Mule Kick I think I would prefer because depth perception, like what really I'm not really sure why I would want that perk. Like there's a mini map already in the game, like there's already Vulture Ray that drops uh extra points and extra salvage, like, well, what's the real purpose to depth, like, why, like, I don't really get what depth perception would do for
Yeah,
the game.
yeah,
So I don't know, maybe that's why I think Mule Kick could be it could be Tombstone, I guess, but they also said pre-launch that Tombstone wasn't, they didn't like the place that was in. So
yeah.
I don't know, we'll have to see.
So so yeah, it's either depth perception or Mule Kick. Um, you know, I have my thoughts on depth perception. I was like, that should have been combined with Vulture's Aid.
Yeah,
I don't see why it had to be split. You could have saved the perk slot with that. But if they find augments and such that make depth perception really good, and I think maybe it might be depth perception because it's a excavation site, really. So it might be cool for like side Easter eggs and stuff, possibly and such. So maybe that's where they are going um, with the perk, really. But hopefully, like I said, it's something great. Hopefully it's not a waste of a perk slot, right? You know,
absolutely.
I want to have a lot of great perks, and I think all the perks in BO6 are great. I really do like Vulture Save though. I think Vulture Save for what it is in BO6 is good because of the
Yeah,
augments. So if Depth Perception does the same thing, I'll be completely fine with it. So I really don't think there's a bad perk in BO6 at all.
yeah,
I
the
know people
augments
were
are the most
saying like
important.
Melee Macchiato is the weakest, but I mean like Melee Macchiato really helps Citadel does more with the swords
Yeah,
and such.
Citadel wouldn't work as a map without Melee Macchiato if you think about it. Like it's kind of like
Yeah.
that perk is that map, like in terms of how important. Which it could be an interesting dynamic to say maybe some maps more different perks are more important. So say like this map, I wouldn't be surprised if there's no machine for Melee Macchiato because maybe it's not as such of an importance
Yeah.
compared to Citadel.
Yeah. Um, yeah, they've been doing this thing where even though they take out the perk, they have a specific side Easter egg for it. So
Yep,
I wonder what it's gonna be. Maybe for Melee Macchiato, maybe it's like, oh, melee this in different locations and boom, you get the free Melee Macchiato perk. That's gonna be interesting to see. I'm really happy, you know, we're getting a new perk. Um like 54 days after the last one. It's gonna
yep.
be awesome. Um and I think that's pretty much it in terms of all the news we've got. So next week we'll get more news. We'll probably get the cutscene and such. And I think maybe for the next episode of the podcast, we'll probably talk about, if they do drop a cutscene, we'll talk about the story really and see where the story is really going to be heading. Because now I think we're finally past setup, right? We're done with setup. I think setup is completely done. I think it's time to fully go like full force into the story right now.
Yep,
Like
go for it.
bring out the chaos story, whatever. Bring out whatever now. It's time. So like these next few maps are gonna be awesome. So I'm very excited about it. And any last thoughts revived on 115 day and all this news?
It's just been a great day. Like zombies is definitely in full force this year. I think a lot of people have been rightfully disappointed or just not in the best place of BO6. Like I think just showing how much content zombies is getting, and hopefully the other modes get some good content as well for season 2. I'm hoping multiplayer gets some good stuff as well. So we'll see what that has in store for season 2. We could probably go over everything for season 2 next week as well. Just
Yep.
dive in because I have a big blog and a lot of things to talk about. So I think next week will be super fun. And zombies, I mean, it's just crazy, bro. This is really like the exact type of experience that everyone's been wanting.
Yep, definitely agree there. And I think we will wrap it up there. Once again, Revived, it's always a pleasure talking with you on this
Same to
podcast.
you.
And I love the communication the past few weeks from Treyarch. Great.
Yeah,
Absolutely great. And I hope, we can continue seeing this throughout the entire year. I know, it's a special day today. It's zombies, but this should be every time when there's a huge update and when there's like, you know, down periods in zombies and such. Keep the hype rolling because this is what we like to see. If you have like a new stat to show us, like about like the Easter eggs and stuff, talk about it with us. I'd love to see that because that shows, what you're doing is actually working, and that gives positive reinforcement that this mode is doing a great job. And it just shows me as a fan that, you know, everything that we're trying to like embrace and such is for a good cause. And yeah, this is absolutely great. Um, but yeah, if you have any topics and such that you want to see in the next episode is possibly going to be talking about the gameplay and story. So if you guys want to give us topics about the story or anything story related that you're interested in, leave it in the comment section below. We'll definitely talk about it. Me and Revived are very excited about this story, and we could talk about it for hours and hours. So if you have any questions about that or any topics, leave it in the comment section below. And also post your thoughts. And I appreciate everyone who enjoyed the first episode. I've been reading your comments. You guys been loving it. Absolutely, absolutely insane. I love you guys. And yeah, that's where episode 2 will wrap up. And that is all. See you in the next one. Peace.
peace out.